Good morning students. Today we are going to start with a new chapter of CPSC class 10, that is chapter number 2, acids, bases and salts. Let's start with the chapter. Let's start with the topic acids. Acid is derived from the Latin word acidus, which means sour taste. So it was thought that the substances which are having sour taste, they are called as acids, like vinegar, grapes, lemon, juice. They were all having the sour taste, so they were called as acids. In our junior classes, we had studied that acids can be of two types, organic acids or it can be inorganic acid. Inorganic acid is also called as mineral acids. Now on what criteria we are dividing the acids in two categories, that is on their source. If they are present in plants and animals, or we are calling them organic acid, or if they are present in rocks and minerals, then we are calling them as mineral acids. And we know that these mineral acids, they are comparatively stronger and corrosive. Corrosive means they are dangerous to touch. That means they are harmful for our skin. As compared to this, organic acids are mild. Now we will go through some examples of both the categories. First, acetic acid. Acetic acid, it is present in vinegar. Its formula is CH3COOH. Formic acid. It is present in the sting of ants, bee, nettle, etc. In their sting, we are having this formic acid. Benzoic acid. Its formula is C6H5COOH and it is present in the preservatives in the form of sodium benzoate. This is sodium benzoate and it is present in the preservatives. Okay, so the next one it is now citric acid. See students, the formula it is quite complicated. I had written here, if we want to increase our knowledge for the sake of extra knowledge, I had written down the formula, but it is not required for a 10th class level. So if you are able to learn the formula, learn it. Otherwise you can leave this part also. Simply you have to learn the names of the acids and their sources where they are present. Okay, so citric acid, I have written the formula. It is having 3 COH group and 1 OH group. It is present in lemon and oranges. Next one is oxalic acid. Its formula is COH 2H2O. It is present in tomatoes. Malic acid. It is present in apples. And here I have written down the formula COH CH2 CHOH COH. Again I am reminding you, it's not compulsory to learn the formulas. Okay. Amino acids, they are present in proteins. Tartaric acid, they are present in tamarind. Lactic acid, you must have heard the term lactic acid, that is present in curd. We all know that the sugar present in the milk, it is lactose, and when the curdling of milk takes place, it converts from lactose sugar to lactic acid. Last one is ascorbic acid, that is also called as vitamin C. It is present in leafy vegetables or guava. See students, I had summarized some of the examples. You can add many other examples also, like tannic acid, it is present in tea leaves. Butyric acid, it is present in butter. So you can enrich your notes. Now, mineral acids. In this category, the first one is sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Nitric acid, HNO3, hydrochloric acid, HCl, carbonic acid, the formula it is H2CO3, phosphoric acid, the formula it is H3PO4. Arrhenius was the first scientist who gave the definition of acids. According to him, acids are the substances when dissolved in water gave one or more hydrogen ions in the solution. That means he called the substances which are giving hydrogen ions in the solution as acids. For example, HCl, when it is dissolved in water, it ionizes to give H plus ion plus Cl minus ion. Okay. So here HCl, it is giving 1 H plus ion. Similarly HNO3, it is giving H plus ions along with nitrate ions. These are the corresponding anions, and these are also called as acidic radicals because they are obtained from acids. CH3COH, students, we have to focus here, though it is having 3 hydrogen over here and 1 hydrogen over here, but only this hydrogen, it can be given out in the form of H plus ions. So it is forming CH3CO, that is the acetate ion, plus H plus ion. So it is giving 1 H plus ion. H2SO4, it gives 2 H plus ions along with sulfate ions. H3PO4, that is phosphoric acid, it gives 3 H plus ions and phosphate ions. What is the charge present on phosphate ions? It is -3. So here we had seen all these substances on ionization, that means in the aqueous medium, when they are dissolved in the water, they are giving H plus ions. So they were called as acids. Student, it is a very important over here that only in the presence of water they are going to show their acidic nature. If there is no water, that means they will not be able to give these ions, H plus ions, and they will not be termed as acids. And one word we are going to use, that is ionization. Ionization in water, that means it forms ions. Okay, so here we are saying HCl ionizes to form H plus ions and chloride ions. Okay, and one more important term here, that this H plus ions, they are not stable as it is, but they combines with water molecule and they form H3O plus, that is the hydronium ions. So they are existing in the form of hydronium ions. Now some of the terms we need to discuss over here: strong acids, weak acids. Acids which are completely ionized, they are almost 100% ionized, like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, they are the strong acids. And the acids which are ionized to little extent, little bit they get ionized, so they are called as weak acids, and the examples are carbonic acid, phosphoric acid, acetic acid, formic acid. They all are termed as weak acids. Now, basicity of acid, a very important term. What do you mean by basicity of acids? Number of replaceable hydrogen atoms present in an acid molecule which it can release when dissolved in water. That means number of replaceable hydrogen atoms which are present. So here we can see the acids, how they are monobasic, dibasic or tribasic. Here it is giving 1 H plus ion, so it is monobasic. Okay, it is having only one hydrogen which can be replaceable. It is also giving 1 H plus ion, so this is also monobasic. CH3COH, it is also monobasic. H2SO4, it is giving 2 H plus ions, so it is dibasic. Okay, now H3PO4, it is giving 3 H plus ions, so it is tribasic. What do you mean by tribasic? That means it is having 3 hydrogen atoms which can be released when it is dissolved in water. So this was little about the Arrhenius concept, that to what substances you can call as acids. Now students, in a similar way we can define what do we mean by the bases. Bases, they were earlier termed as the substances which are having bitter taste and soapy touch, but Arrhenius gave their definition. So let's see the definition of bases in the same manner. I'll just simply change some words here. Bases. Bases are the substances when dissolved in water gives one or more hydroxide ions. What they are going to give? hydroxide ions. They are going to release hydroxide ions, that is OH minus ions in the solution. Let's see some examples over here. I'll write down the examples of some of the bases like NaOH, KOH, NH4OH. Now we can write magnesium hydroxide. We can take one more example of aluminium hydroxide. Okay, now let's see what happens when they are being dissolved in water. NaOH, it ionizes to form Na plus and OH minus ions. Here OH ion they are giving, that is why they are called as base. Okay, and Na plus, it is a corresponding cation and it is also called as basic radical because this radical is obtained from the base. Similarly, K plus, OH minus, NH4OH, it is giving NH4 plus. What is the name of this? Ammonium ions along with OH minus. Magnesium hydroxide, it's going to give Mg plus 2. Along with it is going to give 2 OH minus ions. Aluminium hydroxide, Al plus 3. Along with it is going to give 3 OH minus ions. Okay, now in bases also we are using the terms strong base, weak base. So let's give the definition exactly in the same way. Strong base, weak base. Okay, now what are strong base? Which are 100% ionized to give OH ions, that is the hydroxide ions. Let's see the examples also over here. The strong bases are NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, KOH, that is potassium hydroxide. Now weak bases, the bases which are ionized to a little extent. For example, magnesium hydroxide, or you can say calcium hydroxide or aluminium hydroxide. All these are the examples of weak bases. Now when we are talking about the base, we will use the term acidity. Acidity of base. That means in the same way as we have defined the basicity of the acid, in the same way we are going to define the acidity of the base. Number of replaceable OH, number of replaceable hydroxide ions. That means OH ions which are present in the base. So here in the base, the number of OH ions which can be replaced when they are dissolved in water. So when we see the different examples here, NaOH, KOH, NH4OH, all these are the examples of monoacidic. Okay. Now MgOH whole twice, here we are seeing that it is giving 2 OH minus ions, so it will be diacidic. Okay, so we will say that it is diacidic base. When we talk about aluminium hydroxide, then we are saying that it is triacidic base. So in this way, on the basis of RNAs, we can define the acids and bases. Now we will see the next term, that is indicators. What do we mean by indicators? These are the substances which shows different color or odor in acids or bases. That means when they are put in acids, they give a color, and when they are put in bases, they will show a different color, or they will give different type of odor. Okay. Now the indicators which give different odor, they are also called as olfactory indicators. Here first we will discuss the indicators which are giving different colors in acids and bases. So let's see the first example, litmus. Litmus, it is a purple colored dye. It is obtained from a lichen plant which belongs to the division Thallophyta. I just write it here. It belongs to lichen plant and it belongs to a division that is Thallophyta. Okay, you must be knowing lichen, there is a mutual symbiotic relationship between algal and fungal component. From this, a dye, purple colored dye is obtained, that is called as litmus. Now, in acid solution, the color of the litmus changes from blue to red, and when it is added to base, it changes its color from red to blue. Okay. Second indicator is phenolphthalein. Students, please learn the spelling of phenolphthalein very carefully. It is colorless. When it is added to acid, still it is colorless. But when it is added to base, it changes its color to pink. Okay. Methyl orange, it is a third indicator. Its color, it is orange. When it is added to acid, its color, it is red, and when it is added to base, it changes to yellow. Fourth one, it is red cabbage juice. It is having red color. When it is added to acid, it retains its red color, and when it is added to base, it changes to green. Turmeric, you all know, if there is a stain of turmeric on your cloth, if you wash it with water, it remains yellow, but when you put the soap on it, then it changes to reddish brown. It changes to reddish brown color because soaps, they are basic in nature. So here we can summarize that turmeric, they are yellow when they are present in acid, but they changes to reddish brown when they comes in contact with the base, and when you remove that soap, it again changes to its yellow color. Flowers of hydrangea plant, they are blue in color. So here when we see their color, it is blue in acidic medium, and when it is added to base, it changes to pink. Okay, so here students, some of the indicators like phenolphthalein, methyl orange, they are called as synthetic indicators because they are man-made, and many of them, they are the natural indicators. Now let's see the olfactory indicators. The substances, they shows the acid or base on the difference of the odor. First I am taking the example of onion. Suppose we had taken two cloth strips and we are putting them in a plastic bag in which some onion pieces are kept. Okay, now this plastic bag is tied and it is kept for overnight. On the next day, we are going to take these cloth strips out, and HCl is put on the first strip and NaOH is put on the second strip. Now we will see that on the first strip, the smell of onion will be there. Okay. In the second strip, where the NaOH is added, the smell of onion is destroyed, that is suppressed. There will be no smell of onion. So on the basis of the difference in the odor, you can find out that yes, this is acid and this is base. So here onion is used as an olfactory indicator. In the similar manner, vanilla essence can also be termed as olfactory indicator because they retain their fragrance in the acids, but their fragrance is suppressed in case of bases. Similarly, third one, clove oil, they are also used as olfactory indicators. They also give different smells in acid and bases. So here we have discussed different types of indicators. Students, you will be getting the questions like that. If there is NaOH and HCl, what happens if you will add litmus, or what happens if you will add any of these indicators, write their color change. So in that way you can be asked the questions. Practice the questions so that you can have the command.